Hi there, and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration Fair hosted by CACRAO for all North and South Carolina students. As you're getting logged in and prepared for the presentation today, I wanted to give you a few points of information. Your camera and microphone will be off for the presentation, so if you have questions or would like to ask the panelists anything about their college or information, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen to submit those questions. If you would like to see a recording of this session later or share it with friends, it will be available within 1 week's time if you go to www.cacrao.org. So that's CACRAO.org. You can also sign up for more sessions by going to that same website. All right, give it over to our presenters.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Caitlin Jacobs. I am the Associate Director for Transfer Admission and Credit Articulation here at Coastal Carolina University. And I'm also one of 3 transfer counselors on our transfer team. And at the end of the presentation, you will definitely see our contact information in your specific transfer counselor. But again, that'll be at the end of the presentation. Before I jump right into it and talk about the transfer admissions process, I want to allow my colleague here to introduce herself, and she will be manning the chat. So I will let Jenna introduce herself.
Thanks, Caitlin. So yes, I am Jenna Ranzo. I am a senior transfer counselor here in the Office of Admissions. I have been in the office for about 3 years, but I'm also a Coastal graduate, so I do have some knowledge of what it was like to be a student here at Coastal. But like Caitlin said, I will be managing our Q&A chat. So if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in there. Any questions that I can't get to, we will try to answer at the end. But with that, I'll let Caitlin take it away.
All right, so let's get our presentation up here for you. Okay, so this is about a 40-minute presentation. I'm going to use as much time as I can to make sure you know everything you need to know about transferring to Coastal Carolina University. If you know anything about Coastal, you should know that we're a fairly young institution. We were founded in 1954, but we did not become our own independent institution until 1993. So in terms of higher ed in the US, very young still. We've had a lot of growth as an institution, especially in the early 2000s, from 2007 to 2017. We were the 28th fastest growing public master's degree granting university in the US. And we also have recently concluded a $250 million building campaign. So rapid growth for a fairly young institution. And with that growth, we've gotten some national recognition that I'm definitely going to brag about today. Perhaps what we're most proud of as a public, state institution in South Carolina is our value accolades. We're ranked number 6 in the South in the best value category, and we've been on the best college buys list for the past 11 consecutive years. And to kind of paraphrase our president there, our goal is to provide the highest quality education at a reasonable cost to our students. And that's from our outgoing president, David DeCenzo. The university will have our 4th president starting on January 2nd, 2021. So we're very excited. Dr. Michael Benson will be our new president. And I think it's, exciting to see where Coastal will go from here. So new president starting in 2021. We've got some other rankings here that I will touch on very shortly. Again, number 19, top public schools. We have a strong student veteran dependent population, about 400 or so students. And again, the last one there, number 70, and top performers on social mobility. That's important to us because that shows that our graduates are able to jump up in that socioeconomic ranking after they graduate. So that's important for us as a public institution where our graduates can grow in that scale after they graduate. So I've talked about our growth, but let's talk specifics about the numbers. So we have over 90 academic programs here at Coastal that fall under 5 academic colleges, and I'll touch on all of the colleges today. I won't be able to touch on every major, but I'll be sure to touch on some of our more popular majors. But of course, if you have specific majors about questions, my colleague Jen is in the chat, so make sure you address your specific major questions in that chat room. 79% of our faculty possess that doctoral or terminal degree. So basically that means they've got the highest level of education in their field, so they're subject matter experts. And we are a teaching focused institution. So we really pride ourselves on offering that personalized education. You're going to have those opportunities to get to know your professors and build those relationships throughout your time here at Coastal. And then student to faculty ratio, 16:1. What I like to share about that, when I started at Coastal 6 years ago, that was 18:1. So even though our enrollment has grown as an institution, we've added faculty and that ratio has gone down. So again, I think that shows that we are striving to maintain that personalized education here at Coastal, even though we're now over 10,000 students. The first academic college that I'll be going over today is the Wall College of Business. You'll see that accreditation stamp there. We are AACSB accredited. That is important to point out because that is the premier accreditation body for International Collegiate School of Business. So that puts us at the top 5% internationally of all collegiate schools of business. So basically that's the best accreditation you can get. And that's important to know that you've got that standard curriculum, that premier curriculum backing you when you graduate. We will go into our majors here for the Wall College of Business. You can see the different concentrations listed below the majors. So we have accounting, economics, finance, marketing, management, which is our most popular major in the College of Business and one of our most popular majors overall at Coastal. And then last, you'll see our hospitality, resort and tourism management major. As many of you might know, we are about 9 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, about 15-20 minute drive into the Myrtle Beach area. So one of the largest US tourist destinations in the US. So we've got a great location in particular for our hospitality and resort tourism management majors who have several different internship requirements, which they can complete just down the road. And then you'll see there in the black font, we also have a PGA golf management concentration. We're one of only about 19 schools in the nation to have that affiliation with the PGA. So students are able to tack on that concentration with one of our business majors and have that ability to get their PGA player ability card at the end of the program. Moving on, we have our Spadoni College of Education. What I love about our College of Education is we have a great relationship with our local school systems. A little different this year for obvious reasons, but we get our education majors out in the classrooms their first semester. We call that Immersion Day. So our students are out there in Horry County and Georgetown County schools, working hand in hand with teachers, running the classroom, getting that experience working with students. So we find that's really important for future educators to get that experience right off the bat. We also have a really great placement pipeline for future educators, especially if you're wanting to teach in our local area. About 79% of educators in Horry County and Georgetown County are alums from Coastal's College of Education, or they receive their licensure or recertification through us. So again, great placement pipeline if you're looking to teach in our local area. But we know that many of our students are looking to either go back home or go somewhere else across the US to teach. So certainly our professional advisors in the College of Education, as well as our faculty there, help our students make sure they know what they need to do to get that licensure or certification in that specific state. So we have our different levels of education here, and you'll see in parentheses there the specific grade levels that you'll be certified to teach. So we have early childhood education, elementary, middle level, special education, and physical education. You did not hear me say secondary education. So how that works here at Coastal, if you wanted to teach at the secondary or the high school level, you would initially get your undergraduate degree in the subject area that you wish to teach. So you can see those different subject areas listed. And then after you've graduated, or even sometimes the end of your senior year, you can go right into our Masters of Arts in Teaching program, which would give you the licensure certification to teach at the secondary or the high school level. Next, we have our Edwards College of Humanities and Fine Arts. This is where you'll find most of our liberal arts majors, more of those classic areas of studies. This is probably my favorite academic building here on campus. It has a courtyard built into the center of the building, so it's just a really great space to hang out between classes. And it also houses our visual and performing arts majors. So we have, murals, paintings, sculptures, fixtures all throughout the building. So it's just a really great creative space to be in as a student. And so this is also one of our largest colleges in terms of numbers of majors. So we've got two slides of majors to go through, but I'll touch on a few of these majors here. Communication is one of our largest overall majors here at Coastal, and I believe it is the largest major in Edwards College in terms of size. So you can see the different concentrations listed there. We also have a really strong graphic design program and art studio programs, and students have a really great opportunities to build that portfolio and be prepared for graduation and employment at the end. We have intelligence and national security studies. That's one of our more popular majors because we're one of the few programs in the Southeast. The program is really designed for students who want to work at the federal level. So looking at those federal agencies like Department of Defense, DEA, FBI, CIA. We have faculty who have that experience, such as coming from naval intelligence or some of those different federal agencies, so they can really bring that experience to the classroom. And we joke it's not spy school. You're not going to be, James Bond at the end of this program, but it's more looking at a lot of data, a lot of logistics and information, and pulling key pieces of information and making decisions from that data. And then moving on, our other majors that we have in the Edwards College, languages and intercultural studies is one of the newer majors that we have here. You can see Hispanic studies or multiple languages is an option as a concentration. Religious studies is new for Coastal starting this year, so I certainly wanted to point that out. And then we have our BFA Theater Arts program, which again is a very competitive program. There's an audition required for that program, and it's a nationally recognized program too. And so even if that might not be something you're interested in majoring in at Coastal, these students are really talented and they're always putting on different plays and musicals throughout the year. So they're definitely adding to that culture here on campus. Moving forward, we have our Gupta College of Science. This is our largest college here at Coastal, even though we are a liberal arts institution. What I like to share about this college is you can see those photos there. We have built some new buildings for our science major. So you'll see Swain there and Science 2 off to the left. Those were both built in the past few years. And then in the background there is one of our original buildings on campus, but that was recently renovated, the Smith building. So we have over 250,000 square feet of classroom space for our science majors. Many of those are either built in the past few years or renovated in the past few years. So I think our students really appreciate the newer classrooms, academic spaces, labs, technology and equipment. And so that's one of the nice things that goes along with a fairly young institution that's had a lot of growth recently, especially in facilities. Again, there's a lot of majors in the Gupta College of Science because it is our largest major or college in size. So we've got 2 slides of majors to go through. You'll see biology there. That's one of our top 5 majors here at Coastal. Engineering science is fairly new. We've had that for a few years. We've had our first graduating class in the past year or so, but it's a general engineering program here at Coastal. Exercise and sports science is usually in one of our top 2 majors in size. That is for someone who's looking at sports medicine, athletic training, or even those who are looking ahead at physical therapy or occupational therapy programs or postgraduate programs in that health science field. We have on the right-hand side at the top there, you'll see marine science. That's perhaps what we're most well known for as an institution. It is our largest major here at Coastal, and we are one of the largest marine science programs on the East Coast. So I definitely want to spend a few more minutes talking about marine science. We were fortunate enough as an institution to be gifted a piece of an uninhabited barrier island. It's about 40 minutes from campus called Wadey's Island. So we can get our marine science majors and some of our other science majors out there doing field research with their faculty members their first semester. So that's one of the kind of key factors of Coastal, and students are getting that hands-on experiential learning their first semester, especially for marine science majors. We also have 6 or so research vessels where students can go out there with faculty and grad students. And then we also have a few education abroad opportunities that marine science students love, such as going to Costa Rica or the Bahamas or even Scotland. And we have education abroad opportunities for all students, not just marine science. So that's something you're looking to accomplish while you're a student. Education abroad is definitely popular here at Coastal. You'll see on our next page the remaining science majors. Public health, you hear that a lot today in the news. They've added a few concentrations in the past year or so, with dietetics being one of the more recent ones. Recreation and sport management is a popular major, and then finishing up with sociology in our dual degree program. So that wraps up our Gupta College of Science. I know I'm going through these majors fairly quickly, so if you have any specific majors you have questions on, don't forget my colleague Jenna is in the chat and she can address specific questions there. Our last college, which is our youngest college, is our HTC Honors College and Center for Interdisciplinary Studies. So that's a mouthful, so I'll go ahead and break that down for you. We have an honors program here at Coastal for transfer students who might be interested in the honors program. We are looking for a formal application, 30 or more transferable college credits, and typically looking for a collective collegiate GPA of a 3.7 and above, and 2 letters of recommendation. I know they like to work individually with transfer students because you guys know you're unique. Every transfer student has a different story. So you can reach out to them directly at honors@coastal.edu. A lot of students ask, well, why should I consider an honors program? It's really for those high achieving students who are intellectually curious. They like that cross-disciplinary approach. They like working hand in hand with faculty, and you're going to have specific honors classes that kind of build that intellectual curiosity and that foundation there. And then you're going to work towards either a senior research project or thesis or performance, depending on your major here at Coastal. So again, those high achieving students that want to get a little bit more out of their academic experience here at Coastal, if that's you, consider the honors program. Within this college though, we have a few majors. So our true undeclared transfer students would start off in this college, and you'd work with an advisor that's going to ask you, what are your interests? What are your skills? What are your abilities? And help you align that with a major and a career pathway here at Coastal. On the flip side, we have a major in interdisciplinary studies, and that is best suited for a student who ultimately knows they're career pathway, their career goals, and we don't traditionally offer that major, or they know they need to be cross-disciplinary in their approach in order to be successful in that goal. So ultimately, you're working with an advisor to build a curriculum for interdisciplinary studies. So students can get really creative there. We have a minor in environmental studies, and you'll see a minor also in women's and gender studies and a sustainability certificate. And then starting in spring of 2021, so not officially active just yet, but we also have a BA and a BS in sustainability. So we'll now have a degree in sustainability starting next year. So that college has certainly grown in their offerings in the past few years. So that wraps up all of the academic colleges. Again, if there's a major that I might have skipped over or didn't touch on as much for you, definitely ask my colleague in the chat to get you more information. We are going to talk about student life now. We are a very residential campus. Students are very active on our campus. We strongly encourage students to get active right away here at Coastal because research shows students who are involved on campuses are happier, healthier, more likely to graduate. So we push that here at Coastal. Obviously this year, again, it's a little different. A lot of things are virtual. We haven't resumed large group gatherings at this point. So a lot of those things are either very small group gatherings or virtual. But you can see just a few of the different types of clubs and organizations that we have listed there. Obviously the total we have active is 120. On one end, we've got Greek life, which is about 14% of our student population, service learning, civic engagement, volunteer organizations that are kind of working towards a philanthropic cause. We have major affiliated organizations like the Marketing Association. And then on the more fun end of things, we've got really active club sports and intramural sports. And I think, part of the reason they're active is, we've got really nice weather year round here in Conway, South Carolina. So those are very active clubs and intramural sports here at Coastal. If there's a specific club or organization that you're looking for, you can just search Coastal Connections on our website and it pulls up the student organizational page and you can look through all the 120 or you can do a search to see if we have exactly what you're looking for here at Coastal. But yeah, our students love to be involved and I think it really enhances their experience. So we encourage that early on. And then we'll certainly talk about athletics. We are a Division I. We've got 19 teams with almost all of those teams competing in the Sun Belt, but we do have one or two teams that are in the Atlantic Sun just because of that sport and where it's offered. We are fairly successful in our athletic programs, and we have been for the past few years, especially since we've joined the Sun Belt. Probably the biggest feather in our cap is in 2016. We won a national championship in baseball. Pretty cool to say in just 60 years of school history, you have a national championship under your belt. But probably what's most exciting for us right now, because we're in football season, is our football team is ranked number 15 in the Associated Press coaches poll. So number 15 overall in the nation. We're undefeated. So we're really proud of our team. I think it's really great, some of the national attention that we're getting where people haven't heard of Coastal Carolina University before. So great opportunity for the institution as a whole. But we are playing this weekend, playing South Alabama. So another home game. So hoping to keep that undefeated streak going after this weekend. And then just to wrap up, you'll see our mascot there in the center of the page. His name is Chauncey, the Chanticleer. He is a witty, crafty rooster based off of one of the Chaucer Canterbury tales. But again, his name is Chauncey, the Chanticleer. So that is unique to us. All right, so now we're going to slide into the admissions process. We call ourselves the Teal Nation. You can keep up with us using the Teal Nation hashtag on social media. Our 2021 applications are available now on our website. And you can see that URL there, coastal.edu/apply. We do have some promotions going on this week where we're waiving the application fee waiver. So if you're on our website, you should see information on that. But if you have any questions about an application fee waiver, especially if you're a transfer student who demonstrates financial need, you can reach out to us directly at transfer@coastal.edu. We receive over 15,000 applications year round. You'll see our typical fall class for incoming students or new students is 2,300 freshmen and about 750 transfer students. But overall, our student enrollment, we have approximately about 10,000 students from 48 states and 23 countries. You'll see in this map here, the darker the teal, the more students we get from that state. So 49% of our students are from South Carolina. Another 49% are from outside the state of South Carolina, up and down the eastern seaboard, but definitely growing in the Midwest. And then that remaining 2 percentage points, that would be our international student population. So again, about 200 or so international students from over 23 countries study with us. All right, so here are the specific transfer requirements, or what we need to see for you to be a competitive transfer applicant. If you have 24 or more transferable college credits completed, your first step is going to be the application, which you can find through our website. Once you submit your application, you'll need to send us all of your official college transcripts. So we can't request those on your behalf. You have to go through each institution you've attended and request for those transcripts to be sent directly to Coastal. We are looking for a collective collegiate GPA of a 2.0 or higher, and that you're in good academic standing at your current institution. Now, if you have under 24 transferable college credits completed, you can certainly still transfer to Coastal, but at that point, in addition to asking for your college transcripts, we would need to receive your final high school transcript or GED transcript to complete your file, and your ACT or SAT scores as well. Now, if you are 22 years old or older, you're exempt from having to send us your ACT or SAT scores, but we would need that final high school transcript or GED transcript if you have under 24 transferable college credits completed. So again, we're looking for a collective collegiate GPA of a 2.0 or above, and that you're in good academic standing. But you'll see in the bottom of that slide, our average transfer GPA is a 2.9. We are rolling admissions here at Coastal. So what that means is there's no hard deadlines for students to apply by, but we do have some priority dates because one, they ensure your consideration for merit awards, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, but also these dates kind of keep you on track throughout the admissions and application cycle. So if you're looking to start in the fall semester, that priority date would be June 1 to submit everything to us and be admitted by for merit award consideration. But again, you can still apply after June 1, get us documents after June 1 if you want to be considered for fall admission. If you're looking to start in the spring, so in January, that priority date is November 1. So obviously that's passed. So anyone out there who might be considering spring admission for 2021, you're past the date to be admitted to ensure consideration for merit awards, but you'll still be reviewed for a merit award as funding is available. So again, you can still apply after November 1, still get us transcripts. We review applications and applicants on a rolling basis. What is great about rolling admissions is it's a fairly quick turnaround. So once we get everything we need from the student, you're going to hear back from us by mail in about 3 weeks with your decision. Once a student is admitted to the university, then we'll do an official evaluation of their credits. In general, we are looking for your credits to be completed at a regionally accredited institution, that you have academic, college level courses and that you've earned a letter grade of C- or better. The only exception to the letter grade would be spring of 2020. As we know, we were in the midst of the pandemic, so we will evaluate courses if your institution went to a pass or a satisfactory grading system for the spring of 2020 only. A lot of times when we're talking about credits, sometimes it's easier to explain what won't transfer over. So anything that is remedial or developmental won't transfer over to coastal. Anything that's very vocational, very technical, especially at a 2-year institution, those courses will not transfer over to coastal. But in general, we're looking for your courses to be academic, college level, and that you've earned a letter grade of C- or better, and you're completing your courses at a regionally accredited institution. We have some resources available for students who would like to see how their credits would transfer to coastal. If you are a South Carolina technical college student, we have the Transfer Guide and Academic Plan, which is a quick reference guide of over 500 courses from the South Carolina technical colleges that tells you how those courses will transfer to coastal. That's on our Transferring Credits website. If you're transferring within the state of South Carolina, you can use sctrack.org. So a 2-year or a 4-year institution from within the state of South Carolina, you can use that sctrack.org website. Or if you're transferring from outside the state of South Carolina, we might have some North Carolina students out there today. You can use collegetransfer.net, which is a national website, and we have transfer credits in there. You can also use our in-house database that we manage, which is called WebAdvisor. You can see that URL there, webadvisor.coastal.edu. You would go in under an applicant. Even if you haven't submitted an application to Coastal, you can still access this database. So you would click applicants and then click on view transfer course equivs. That'll take you to our database. You just search your institution and it'll tell you how we've evaluated your credits in the past from your institution. You can always email us as well. You can see credits@coastal.edu. So if you have specific questions about courses, or even if you want an unofficial evaluation of your credits before you even apply to Coastal, we offer that service here. We do ask for about a 2 to 3 week turnaround time on those unofficial evaluations, but we're very fortunate to have enough staff to be able to provide that service to prospective applicants. I want to take a few minutes to talk about the core curriculum exemption because I think it's a great opportunity for students. If you are earning your Associate of Arts or Associate of Science or Bachelor's of Arts or Bachelor's of Science from a regionally accredited institution, you will receive something called the core curriculum exemption. And what that means is all of your general education classes at Coastal, which we call the core curriculum, you'll be exempt from having to complete that when you transfer over. And so once you start, you can focus on your foundation and your major coursework here at Coastal. So it's the smoothest transition for our transfer students when they have that AA or AS degree or BA or BS degree. Now, please keep in mind, it has to be those specific degree types. Unfortunately, applied science degrees, so AAS degrees, are not eligible for the core curriculum exemption. And then you'll see there, anyone from a South Carolina technical college who earns their AA or AS are academically guaranteed admission here at Coastal, and they'll still receive that core curriculum exemption. So 2 great benefits for our South Carolina technical college students. And then at the bottom there, we've got the core curriculum petition. So maybe you won't have that core exemption coming in, but you have courses coming in, and maybe it's from a 4-year institution as well. And maybe those courses don't transfer in exactly and apply exactly to our core curriculum, but we know at Coastal, you've satisfied a science, you've satisfied a humanities or an artistic expression course. So our advisors are trained to spot these courses Maybe they're just coming in as electives, but again, we know you've satisfied that knowledge area, so we make sure we have those courses apply to our core curriculum. So it's just our way of making sure credits aren't just transferring, but they're transferring and applying to a coastal degree. And we're going to talk about paying for college and the costs over the next few slides here, and wrapping up with merit awards. So this is our current in-state and out-of-state tuition, and we've actually frozen tuition. So you'll see on the bottom of that slide there. So these rates are valid for 2020, 2021. And also next year, 2021 and 2022. So like I said, we've frozen tuition this year and next year. Tuition, housing, and meal plan is all frozen. So you'll see the difference in rates of tuition for in-state and out-of-state students, housing and meal plan there. It's based on the most common housing for transfer students, which is a single room in University Place, which is our apartment style housing. And then the meal plan is the 150 block plan, which again is the most common plan for transfer students here at Coastal. There are some ways to save money there if you go with a double or a smaller meal plan, but these are the most popular meal plan options and housing options for our transfer students. So we listed that here. We understand that college is certainly an investment for you and your families. 86% of our students receive some type of financial aid or scholarships. As you know, the FAFSA is very important. We encourage all students to complete a FAFSA. The two FAFSAs are available right now. So there's the 2020, 2021, as well as the 2021, 2022 FAFSA. So make sure you're doing the right FAFSA or doing both FAFSAs if you're considering Coastal. We have other scholarships that transfer students are considered for. You'll see the one in bronze there, Phi Theta Kappa. That's for transfer students only. So if you're an active Phi Theta Kappa member, you want to make sure that's on your transcript when you apply to Coastal. And once you're admitted to Coastal, you'll be considered for that Phi Theta Kappa scholarship. It's 10% off of tuition. And then we have some other scholarships there. But I really want to take some time to talk about our merit awards because I know I'm coming up on my 45 minutes. So merit awards are essentially additional monies based on a student's academics. Students are automatically considered for merit awards once they're admitted to the university. You just have to remember back to those priority dates of November 1 for the spring and June 1 for the fall. For our transfer students, we are looking for 30 or more transferable college credits completed and an overall collegiate GPA of a 2.9 or above to be considered for merit awards. You'll see there are 3 different tiers there. So if you have a GPA of 2.9 to a 3.24, that is tier 3, which is 15% off of tuition. If you have a GPA that is a 3.25 to a 3.49, that's 20% off of tuition, that's tier 2. And if you have an overall GPA of a 3.5 and above, that's tier 1 or highest transfer merit award, which is 25% off of tuition. So again, transfer students are automatically considered for merit awards once they're admitted to the university. So you do not have to apply separately for those. And students are also, students who have been awarded a merit award know that those awards are renewable when you move forward as a Coastal student. You just have to maintain about 30 credits a year and a 3.0 to continue to receive that merit award moving forward as a Coastal student. So we are now wrapping up here, so I want to make sure you're able to grab your counselor's contact information. So that's me there, Caitlin Jacobs. I oversee transfer recruitment, but I'm also the specific transfer counselor for students whose last names are A through E. And I also work with our completion program, so nursing and health administration. So you'll see my contact information there. Below that is Leslie Barrett Brown. She oversees credit evaluation here at Coastal. So if you have specific credit questions, you can grab her info, but also know we have that general email, credits@coastal.edu. And then our 2 transfer counselors here, we have Shay Godwin. He works with students whose last names are F through O, as well as our veteran students. You can see his contact information. And if you joined us right at the beginning, you've also met my other colleague, Jenna Ranzo, our senior transfer counselor. She works with students' last names P through Z, and you can see her contact information there. But that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to share today, except one more thing. We are allowing visits right now. So if you're considering coming to our campus and wanted to do a walking tour of campus, we are doing that in small groups. You must register in advance, and some of those days are filling up quickly because it is smaller group sizes, but you can do that online at coastal.edu/visit if that's something you're interested in. But that's pretty much all I had to share today. So I appreciate your time. I am going to see if there's any questions in the chat.
Hey, Caitlin. So the only questions that we got were surrounding exactly what makes a student a transfer student. For example, what is dual enrollment versus being a transfer student?
Sure. So we define a transfer student as anyone who's attempted or completed college courses after graduating high school. So typically, if you've only completed college coursework while you were in high school, that makes you still a freshman applicant here at Coastal. We have many freshman students. You have quite a bit of credits coming in. But if all of that was done while you were in high school, you're still a freshman applicant, but you may come in with advanced academic standing, like sophomore or maybe even junior, because of the number of credits that you have coming in. If you've only taken, say you graduated high school in May or June, and maybe you took a summer course, and then you're looking to start in the fall, in that case, that summer term immediately following high school graduation, you are still a freshman applicant. We're not going to hold that against you. But it's really if you've graduated in May or June and you went somewhere that fall, at that point, you're a transfer student. Or maybe you graduated in December or January and you took classes somewhere in the spring term. At that point, you're a transfer student. So I hope that clarifies the questions. Anything else? Anything I forgot to touch on, Jenna?
I think you really hit it all, especially about that credit information. It's always a good tip for everyone to reach out to us early if you have questions about your credits. So.
Yep. And so credits at coastal.edu or transfer at coastal.edu are our general emails, and we'll make sure to get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Well, we can hang out, I guess, for a few more minutes in case.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm going to take a sip of water.
So in these last couple of minutes here for our remaining students, you can still submit questions or what have you if you have them. But I just wanted to share a couple of points. Thank you for joining us today. The participants will have a 4-question survey at the end of this session here, just to help us improve for the future. You can actually find the recording of the complete session today if you go to CACRAO.org, just CACRAO.org, and that will be up within a week's time. And then you can also sign up for more sessions on the same website. So thank you for joining us today, and see you soon.
Thank you.